you want a person to expose your weaknesses and your strengths, and to work with you through them, and to allow you time to work with things on yourself as well. You know, it's got to be that full balance. That's the love of a Virgo. I mean, this type of Virgo, who I am. It's
Lord,
crazy. It's crazy.
I've seen what you have done for Mario's boo. I come humbly with Tierra's prayer. You know, we need some lifting of spirits in the room.
That's
okay?
what I want to focus on mostly is, you know, my frequency and my gifts, you know, as a light worker, as someone who has been in this entertainment industry for almost 20 years now. It doesn't even feel that way, you know.
No.
It doesn't feel that I've been in it that long. I think mainly because of my perspective on governing time and experience. You know, I like to make sure my experiences are more valuable than my time, if that makes any sense. I feel like a lot of times, especially in this game, your life gets taken over by the chase and the proving of yourself as an artist and as a talent, and you kind of lose a bit of your purpose beyond just that. I always felt like my purpose was far beyond just music, mainly because of my grandmother. You know, when she on her dying bed, I was 12 years old. She was like my mom for real, and you know, she told me that the gift I had was beyond my talent, and that stuck with me for a long time. So I never allowed just music to be the end all be all, and the acceptance of the industry to be the end all be all of my purpose. You know, so in you saying that, you know, we need upliftment, that is definitely something that I'm here to do.
I love that. I was going to ask you, where is this purpose of yours extending to? What are your other areas of life giving, Mario?
Yeah, I think taking my experiences, and I'm writing a book right now called Life in Exchange, and I'm kind of taking all of my experiences and putting it into writing form in a way of, like, I guess, talking about my way of balancing my personal and spiritual space, you know. And I think, you know, I wrote it in the mindset of thinking about my cousins living back home in Baltimore, thinking about people I grew up with that, you know, haven't had the chance to travel and see the world and experience things to take them out of their own filter of experience, right? So just kind of taking my experiences and sharing it in my way, and hopefully inspiring some people to dive deeper into themselves and do the same thing.
Okay, with the book.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I love that. When can we expect to read?
It's a work in progress, but the reason I like talking about it is because I'm always asking source for code to put in the book. You know what I mean? And what to talk about, and I'm always putting it out there so that I can receive as I continue to write. You know, I think that it's important for us to know that manifestation isn't something that is you wait for. It's always happening all the time. So yeah, I'm just kind of always trying to stay in that space.
I love that. Okay, Mario, I love the grown manhood of it all, because you serving it up.
Full spectrum.
Yeah, listen, here for it. Here for it. Well, everybody that I usually have come on to real quick, I have them tell me, besides your name, who you are.
Okay.
And then what is one thing that you love most about who you are?
Wow. Yeah, well, my name is Mario Dewar Barry, Baltimore, Maryland. I'm 34 years old. And one thing that I love most about, you said most about myself?
Most about who you are.
Most about who I am. I think one thing I love most about who I am is my ability to handle pressure and to stay consistent in my character, no matter what's going on, so that I'm always able to kind of see things from all points of views and not be swayed by what's going on in the outside world. Now, it took some practice, right? But I noticed in my career it's something that I had to develop because I didn't have, like, you know, real guidance, you know, so I had to kind of be my own solid counsel, if you will. And I think that's something that we should all practice.
Yeah. Well, you say pressure. When did you know? Because I'm assuming that you're good under pressure. So when did you know, like, when was the moment that you knew, like, that you proved that pressure is something you can handle and that you're good under?
Well, I think first of all, I think pressure is a great thing, right? Pressure makes diamonds, right? Pressure, uh, pressure shows you your weaknesses and your strengths. So I think that it started early. I mean, I came in the game when I was 14 years old, and I didn't know anything about music industry. I didn't know anything about anything outside of Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like being put on this world stage and having to perform at a level that I hadn't been groomed to perform on. And then just over time, I guess I got better at just handling pressure and um, learning how to process things whilst process at the same time as perform. You know, it's like processing and performing at the same time as an artist. You know, and
That's
you know,
a lot.
it's a lot, right? But there's beauty in it because the challenges and the information you can learn if you don't allow your ego to take over is very powerful. When you allow your ego to kind of take over your life,
That's important.
yes, it's very important. And when you allow the ego to take over your life, now you just got like you're dealing with multiple false identity, multiple illusions of reality, and then it's like you just, I mean, you need the ego right for the stage, and you know when you're not inspired, you need.
Yeah, but you can't live like that.
Can't live in it. Can't live in it. And I had to learn that. You know, that's something I had to learn over time. But yeah, it can be.
Well, that ain't an easy lesson, Mario. That's the ego lesson is the kind of lesson that will slap you in the face.
Right. Damn, what you doing? Think you doing? It'll sit you down.
Ego lessons will
I love those ego
out.
killers, and they can come in all different type of ways. You know, I've had ego killers come as friends. I've had ego killers come in the form of relationship. I've had ego killers come in the form of success, failures. I've had ego killers come in every way. And how you respond to it is important.
Ego killers in friendships and relationships.
Oh my God,
those don't last, right? Do you stay in those?
You said, do they last?
Like
I mean, it's interesting.
A reality check.
It's really interesting because I really think it depends on how you value your life and how you value the person that you're going through whatever distortion with, because and how they value their life. Because you can't force or control people. I think that one of the things that the ego teaches you, the ego death teaches you, is that you can't control another person's choices and outcomes or their particular path in life. Like you don't know what path God has for you, right? It's crazy because when you
it
end it with
stresses me out. Like
it's crazy. Yeah, so you can't control.
You want to. I know you can't control it. I get it, but like,
What?
Not that. Okay, so as a Virgo.
Are you a Virgo as well? Oh shit.
Yes, and I
know
know that you are too.
Go ahead.
So I'm laughing because you get it, right? Like we be right.
Can't control it. So you kind of got it. The answer to your question is can it last? If both parties are able to, and this is the part where I feel like as in America where we mess up, is that there's so much distortion in our art and our creation and what's mainstream on both sides, both from the masculine and the feminine, that when it comes to your personal life, you have to govern it completely opposite and completely separate from entertainment. I'm talking about movies, films, the lifestyle of music. That, you know, the thing that Instagram and the technology did is it created another smoke and mirror for people to create these illusionary realities that and that influences the collective. And you know, then we have this whole mess of, you know, these humans running around just losing their shit and just not connected to source and organic anything anymore because everything's so filtered and, you know, put through these processes, right? And so then you just, you know, and that's why you gotta govern yourself according to what you want for your life and the filter of experience that you want to have.
Listen, you preach the word. There's a lot in that.
Yeah.
But I'm still on the ego situation, right? Okay. Because you have to have a certain level of confidence to be just on a base level, but then to create and to share your creations no matter what that is. You, an artist,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a certain level of confidence to do that.
Yeah.
And you have it, right? Without it being ego. I want to talk about the thin line between that,
Mm-hmm.
because you recently said some things that came out. I understood where it was coming from, but
Yeah.
the statements were mostly about nobody being able to meet you vocally, i.e., in the versus battle arena.
No, I didn't say that. I'm sorry. I have to correct you. That wasn't.
So I was gonna read the quote.
Yeah.
All right, because you said if I had to put somebody in the same room with me, as far as vocally, I can't see. There's no one that's in the game that can and then they compete with me vocally because it's too much sauce.
Okay. I mean, I think these conversations.
Is that wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay. I want to make sure I got it right.
During that talk, and I don't want this to be like the highlight of our conversation. Just
No,
like
no.
it's been the highlight of that conversation. You know, I get asked these questions important to these conversations, obviously because I'm a singer and because whatever. But I was specifically talking about artists who have had a certain level of success, artists who are in the game that are, you know, quote unquote relevant or whatever the case you want to say. I've been in the same room with these artists. I've been on stages with these artists. You know, so yes, I agree that my distinctiveness and my skill level and my versatility is unmatched in terms of my generation and the artists that people may, you know, I think people get relevancy and all of that mixed up with actual skill, and that's what I was talking about, and that's plain and simple.
Right.
But again, it's not really the basis of my gift. It's not the basis of my conversation with the world. It's not the basis of my conversation with the music industry. I love all of my peers so much, and I appreciate their art so much. And I just don't, because I'm not a clout chaser. I'm not an artist who, that's not something I think about when I create. Like, I really just want to create on a high level, both in music and whatever my hands touches, whether it be film or the projects I'm writing or my book. I don't want to be a part of such a small and senseless conversation about who's better or who's this or who's that. That to me doesn't matter. It doesn't create more success. It doesn't create camaraderie. It doesn't create any type of substantial change in regards to the quality of music that's being put out to the kids out there or anything else. So I just don't want that conversation. It's whatever. I was in my ego a little bit, of course.
Well, listen,
I feel like when you feel underappreciated, and you don't talk about it. I don't really, because I don't base my life on that, because I know where I'm headed, and I know what God has for me is for me, and I know the people I'm supposed to touch, and I know why I took time away from music to do the things that I need to do in order to elevate my consciousness, in order to elevate my perspective on life and things that I'm here to do. And that's something that I don't want to have to defend that anymore, you know. So my conversation about that was just like, let me just tell y'all how I feel about this, you know. And it was asked the way it was asked, and I expressed it the way. But hopefully this gives you a more broad understanding of what that energy was and why.
No, I feel you, because I also am of the school of thought of like, why is it like a problem if I feel that way about myself and I'm that confident in my gift?
Right. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think that it's a problem. I think that we're on the internet, right? And so everything is about this side versus that side. You know, you look at that, everything's about this side versus that side, and creating, you know, conversations that ultimately get views, and you know, so it's not about, like I said, we talked about so much more than just that, just like we're talking right now, right?
I want to play a Like a Virgo game with you, Mario.
All right, cool. So I've never done this before. This is about to be fun. Let's do it.
This is gonna be all Virgo energy. So channel your most high.
I can't help but to do that.
And I'm gonna take you through some scenarios, and I want you to do it like a Virgo.
All right, bet.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's start with the easy one. Apologize like a Virgo.
What did I do? What happened? What's the scenario? I mean, because it's different. Each scenario is different.
So this one, what did you do? Let me see.
Did I do something, or what am I?
See, it has to be something that there needs to be an apology. So
Okay.
it would be that you did do something.
Before I apologize, let me ask you a question before I apologize.
This is very Virgo energy, by the way.
I'm just telling because you're asking me to apologize for something that we haven't even figured out what the solution. Like we haven't figured out what the problem is yet. We don't even know what we're apologizing about. Let's talk about
big Virgo
what
energy,
the issue is. Because I think a lot of times people just want an apology, but yet that's not going to fix the issue. It's like, yes, I could say sorry if I'm in the wrong, but can we talk about why we're discussing apologies? You know,
this is peak Virgo. I feel like
why are we discussing apologies right now?
Can we discuss what had happened?
Can we discuss what happened and why?
I'm gonna make it
because there might be a reason that you're not thinking about as to why you're feeling what you're feeling and why you got the response from me that you got. And if you don't know the response and the reason why you got the response, then now if I'm wrong, I'm gonna apologize. You're never gonna have to say apologize.
I'm gonna make
already
a scenario.
apologized. Huh?
I'm gonna make a scenario that you were absolutely wrong in, and you do need to apologize. Okay. So let's say your bae, her parents are coming into town, and you need to go pick them up from the airport. But you just don't do it. You tell her you're gonna do it.
That's not
realistic. You just don't show up.
That's not realistic for a Virgo, and it's not.
Because you wouldn't. Because first of all, we wouldn't do that.
We just don't do stuff like that. We're too dependable. Like we're so dependable to the point where though it's like this is how dependable. Get a Virgo apology. Virgos are so dependable that people depend on your dependability in order to make their life more comfortable without thinking about your actual life, because you do it with such ease and make everything look so easy.
True.
We make the hardest thing easy to the point, and it's crazy. It's incredible. It's a gift, right? But we also got to stand up for ourselves, because a lot of times we'll let people do things until we get to that breaking point, and then we're the evil ones because we got to the breaking point. So what we have to learn how to do, I'm talking to my fellow Virgos out here, okay? What we have to learn how to do is we have to learn how to say no. One. And it's not about saying no. It's about being able to say no and not feel guilty about it.
That's the thing. I be feeling guilty about everything. I feel guilty about other people's feelings.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah. Let's do some more like a Virgos. Let's do give support like a Virgo.
Give support like a Virgo?
Yeah, like you're supporting your friend, you're supporting your whomever.
So you told me a month ago that you wanted to start meditating more and working with crystals, and you wanted to let go of unhealthy things. You wanted to start eating better. So what's up? What you doing? Like how's your month looking? What you been up to? Like how have you been making
Yes. First of all, that's
you like hold on, you supposed to say you remember that? Like, yeah, I remember. We don't forget those things, right? You told me that you wanted to take a trip. You know, you was taking more time for yourself. Like what?
Ooh, a listener. Yeah. Virgos be listening.
So that's the vibe. Like that's the way that would go. That's if you really care.
Yeah, right. Because like you got an itemized list. You remembered.
Yeah. Yeah.
We like that. Virgo be listening. The last one, love like a Virgo.
I mean, what category isn't taken care of? Like what isn't it that I don't know about you? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to make sure that every part, without being too intrusive, of course, wherever I'm invited, I'm going to fill up the space completely, you know, and like, it's just, it's going to be very hard. And I'm not saying this out of ego. This is just because this is the way I love. It's going to be really hard for you to hide from the love itself. You know, I think that some people want like that love, right? They want that connection. They want that, but then when they get it, it exposes so much of them. It forces them, because when light comes in, it exposes everything in the dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done that work with myself. I'm the person in the relationship usually that's coming in and opening all your shit up and exposing it, not to the world, but between us.
Yeah.
Because I can hold space for you. Like that's gonna let me know if it's gonna work or not. If you can't show your deepest things with me, and because this is the level you want, right? You want that level. If you're not ready for that level, it's out, because it's that level. Like
It's
from
so
the
hard,
love making
Mario.
to the conversation to the love making, everything is intense. Everything is intensity. Everything is full on. Everything is full present. Ain't no cheat codes. Ain't no nothing. It's full presence. And then it's like we gonna see. Then it's like that's what makes it so beautiful. It's like you want a person to expose your weaknesses and your strengths and to work with you through them and to allow you time to work with things on yourself as well. It's got to be that full balance. That's the love of a Virgo. I mean, this type of Virgo, who I am. It's crazy.
Lord,
It's crazy.
I've seen what you have done for Mario's boo. I come humbly with Tierra's prayer.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's crazy.
Where is he? No, that is it's crazy because I talk about this all the time with my friends. Like, I want that and I have that to give,
Hmm?
but trusting child. Mm.
And that's where Virgos kind of fail sometimes. It takes a lot for us to truly trust. While we will give everything still, we still won't fully trust. And it's incredible because it can confuse the hell out of the other person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really important for us to like talk through that process with somebody and like try to and work on ourselves to make sure we're trusting. But the reason why a lot of times we don't trust is because people aren't as fully present as we are. So we're not gonna stop being ourselves. But until we see you show up in that way, we're not gonna fully trust you. And it's gonna be
Right.
confusing because you're like, but I feel this, but yet I don't feel that you fully trust me. So we're like very skeptical about certain things, certain information we might let you know, but when it comes to your life, we're all over that. We like, what do you need? How do I help psychologically, mentally, physically? Like, you know what I'm saying?
A
But then
mess.
when it
That's a
comes to
lot.
our life, it's like,
I can relate.
you know what I'm saying? So,
Please.
yeah,
It's about you. Let's just dig into that. But
right.
see, and then you said, here you come, elbowing into the room, opening shit up for
Yeah, that's
like
fact.
just that
That's
is
fact.
terrifying.
It is. It can be, but it's one of the most polarizing relationships you'll ever have. Being with a Virgo, I would say.
Back to the music.
Yes.
You've been
Yes.
in this thing for as long as you have. How do
Yeah.
you feel about where music is and how it's evolved and how you've evolved?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll start about where music is. I love it. I love where R&B is at. So much good music out right now. I've been listening to this artist named Giveon. I've been listening to her the project.
Yes.
No Allegra, Summer Walker. It's a lot of great R&B out there. I'm really excited. And thank you for the ladies in R&B, man, for really stepping up and being brave, to be vulnerable and write and make the production you make. They're leading the way. I would say that female R&B artists have been leading the way with the waves and really making good R&B. And yeah, so I was really just excited about putting this new music out. Getting records like Mars out, which to me is not a traditionally written R&B record. It's very
Mm-hmm.
metaphorically written, but that's how I write. I write metaphorically. That's just a part of my makeup. But um, yeah, I'm excited to be back and putting music out. This EP was supposed to come out in May, but I pushed it back due to everything that was going on. I have so much
The
more
world's
music.
been on fire.
Yeah, it's been crazy, but I got a lot more music that I'm about to release. Um, vibes. So
We
I appreciate
excited.
the
We can't
fans.
wait to hear. I'm glad to see you be productive because I'm looking at you. You look good, but more so than that, like in here, are you feeling as good? Are you feeling stable? Are you feeling strong at this
Stable.
time?
Yes, absolutely. Stable and strong. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, it's. I feel like this is the time. This is what I've been working towards. Times like this where you have to kind of balance out all aspects of yourself as a being, right? Because besides work and besides everything we do, when we go home and we sit in our room late at night, knowing all this stuff that's going on in the world, you can feel very isolated and alone, even with having loved ones or people, because we're all dealing with
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
the disappointment of society in our own space, on our own time, however we deal with it, right? Um, so yeah, that takes a lot more balancing, a lot more self work, conversations with self, moments with self away from work, meditating, and doing things that you normally wouldn't do, you know, on a daily basis that's consistently because of the space that we're in right now. We gotta stay in that space so that the clarity is there. You know, we need that clarity. We can't be distracted by everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And have
I
fun
don't know.
at the same time. You know, that's the hard. You gotta have fun. You gotta enjoy life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That I'm a joy seeker and activator. Like I have to be activated and joy. That's the only way that I'm able to like put one foot in front of the other.
Right.
So I want to know before we get out of here, like you talked about, you know, having your freedom and all of that. How do you speak to yourself inside your head during like the day? Like, how do you talk to yourself? Do you encourage yourself? Do you pray? Like, what be going on?
Well, I talk to myself because I do believe that we're fragmented. So I talk to myself like, you know, the higher self is just connected to heart, connected to source. It's very organic. So that's that side that I know that I lean on when I'm like, okay, what does it feel like really though? You know what I'm saying? It's like the human mind part of it, the human self that's like just going on day to day and kind of like caught in the matrix a little bit, you know, that's kind of like in the matrix but not in it. Because, you know, the organic self is not in it. For me, it's not in it at all. So that's the like that's Papa. You know what I'm saying? That's Big Daddy,
That's
right?
good for you to be able to get there.
Right? That's Big Daddy. So, you know, I speak to myself on multiple different levels throughout the day. I like to be prepared for what I'm presented with, whether it be an interview or whether it be me going to the market to pick up food. Like, I like to mentally prepare myself for everything that I do so that the steps that I'm taking,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, is guided from a higher purpose.
I identify with you. I was
Feel me?
like, I wonder if we
Yeah.
are similar Virgos because I'm a September Virgo.
Okay.
But I feel you when like every little thing I have to, you know, mentally prepare, like legit mentally
Yeah.
prepare myself. Well, Mario, I don't want to take up no more of your time. I so appreciate you giving me all the time and energy
My
that
pleasure.
you did.
My pleasure. My EP's out right now, y'all. Go check it out. Thank y'all for tapping in. It's called Closer to Mars. I heard your favorite song on there is Anticipated Your Love. So I appreciate you for that. Sharing that. Make sure y'all check it out, man. It's out. New music coming soon. Real quick with that, real with that, yeah.